Chapter 3, The Soil and the Seed. The land had always whispered truth. It wasn't just dirt, it was memory. The red clay of Mississippi carried the sweat of enslaved hands, the blood of rebellions, and the tears of mothers who had to keep moving forward. It had seen men rise and fall, fortunes vanish overnight, and dreams smothered under laws written to keep them small. After the burning of Black Wall Street and the quiet rebuilding by survivors like Jordan, something else began to stir in the background, not in skyscrapers or bank vaults, but in the soil. It was there in the rows of corn and okra that bent under the summer heat, in the backyard gardens that fed families when money couldn't. The real wealth was always in the ground. One such man was Samuel Carter, a third-generation farmer from Holmes County, Mississippi. He had never set foot in Greenwood, but he had heard the story of Jordan, a business owner who lost it all and still found the will to rebuild. His grandfather spoke of Jordan's name the way others spoke of preachers and prophets. "One of us who rose, fell, and rose again," his grandfather would say. Samuel didn't see himself as a fighter. He saw himself as a caretaker, of land, of history, of what little was left. But in the South, being a black man who owned land was already a battle. His struggle was quiet, but fierce. He didn't march in protests or shout at City Hall. His war was in the county courthouse, in whispered meetings with lawyers, in long nights reading through legal codes that weren't meant for him to understand. For years, the county had been pressuring him to sell a stretch of his land. They claimed it was for community development. Samuel knew better. Word had gotten around that a golf course developer was eyeing the area. The offer came with a smile, a handshake, and a number far below its worth. Samuel refused. That's when the letters started. Then the threats. Finally, a legal notice, eminent domain. Most men would have folded. Samuel didn't. He gathered every piece of paper that had ever crossed his desk, tax receipts, deeds, letters from his father and grandfather. He learned how to record public meetings. He got 42 neighbors to sign a petition, then called every black farmer he knew in the county to testify. It wasn't quick. It wasn't easy. But Samuel won. His land stayed his. When the case was over, a reporter asked him what he would do next. Samuel smiled and said, "Same thing I was doing before all this, planting." That spring, he sowed rows of okra, collards, and sweet potatoes. To him, every seed was a victory flag. But Samuel's daughter, Layla, had different dreams. She respected the land, but she wanted to build a different kind of field, a digital one. Layla had grown up watching her father keep their family's acreage alive, but she also saw what it cost him: early mornings, bad harvests, constant fights to prove his right to own what was already his. She wanted to fight her battles in another arena. In her dorm room at Jackson State, she built a website called Legacy Soil. Her mission was simple: teach black youth about ownership, land, credit, business, and the history they were never told in school. She uploaded short lessons, downloadable guides, and even step-by-step videos on how to apply for home loans or LLCs. At first, nobody came. Then one day, a TikTok creator with 500,000 followers stumbled across one of her guides and posted about it. Overnight, Layla's site got 20,000 visits. A month later, it had 500,000 users. By the end of the year, Legacy Soil wasn't just a website, it was a movement. They had helped 12,000 families register LLCs, 5,000 apply for land patents, and hundreds fight eviction notices. Layla started giving talks across the country, always carrying with her a jar of Mississippi soil from her father's land. At the end of every speech, she'd hold it up and say, "This is what my father fought for. This is what I'm building on." Legacy isn't just blood, it's roots. The past and future met one spring afternoon. Jordan, now in his 90s, visited Layla's community workshop. He watched the young people take notes, their eyes wide, their pens moving fast. At the end, he leaned toward Layla and whispered, "The soil don't care how young you are. It'll grow what you plant." For Layla, that was the blessing she didn't know she needed. The seed doesn't know the war above ground. It doesn't hear the arguments in court, or the shouts in the street, or the debates on the evening news. It only knows that, given a little sunlight and water, it will grow. Samuel knew it. Layla knew it. And Jordan had spent his life proving it. Some legacies are mansions. Some are bank accounts. But for those who have survived centuries of theft, fire, and erasure, the truest legacy is this: to plant where you stand, so the next generation has somewhere to take root.